Elite Facts presents
10 people who miraculously cheated death.
10.
Isidro Mejia. In 2004, Mejia was doing construction work on the roof of a house when he fell. Although the fall didn't kill him, he was severely injured as he landed on 6.5-inch nails that were lodged in his neck and skull. Lucky for him, the nails barely missed his brain and brainstem. He's now nail-free. You might even say that when he fell, he really nailed the landing.
9.
Richard Blass. In 1968, 2 hired gunmen entered a bar in an attempt to whack a Canadian gangster named Richard Blass, who was just enjoying some drinks. Although shot at multiple times, Blass was able to escape without a scratch. 2 weeks after the attack, Blass was tracked down by the mafia while he was staying at a motel in a Montreal suburb. The motel was set on fire and 3 people died, but Blass escaped the blaze. Police investigation indicated arson as the fire's cause. That October, Richard Blass was injured by shots to the head and back after being ambushed with his partner inside of a garage. Luckily, they were able to escape, but not without a few injuries. The following January, he got arrested for robbery and was sent to jail. Finally, after a few escape attempts, he was shot 23 times, ultimately killing him.
8.
Ahad Israfil. In 1987, an accidental discharge of a gun blew half of 14-year-old Ahad Israfil's brains away. Yet he survived and later impressively graduated from school with honors. Doctors were able to fill the hole with a silicone block.
7.
Vesna Volovic. In 1972, a 22-year-old flight attendant by the name of Vesna Volovic found herself over 30,000 feet in the air and quickly descending to Earth without a parachute. The plane she had been on was flying over what is now the Czech Republic when an explosion occurred. The terrorist group Croatian National Movement was named as responsible for the deaths of all the passengers but one. As astonishing as it sounds, Volovic survived with a fractured skull, 2 broken legs, and 3 broken vertebrae, which left her temporarily paralyzed from the waist down. After she regained the use of her legs, she continued on with her career in flight attending. She is to this day still in the Guinness Book of World Records as the highest free fall.
6.
Aaronlston. So it turns out that Aaron was a climbing enthusiast, as he's known for his love of mountain climbing and hiking by his friends and family. Well, during this one particular hike, a boulder fell on him, pinning his arm. For 5 days, he worked to push the rock off and finally realized that he would die unless he took drastic action. So he cut off his own arm using his multi-tool.
5.
Jose Salvator Alvaranga. For 13 months, Jose was adrift in the Pacific Ocean before washing ashore on a deserted island. He was discovered by locals in January of 2014. The Salvadorian fisherman stated that he had been drifting around the Pacific Ocean for 13 months on a small raft, having been blown off course during a fishing trip in Mexico. He said he had made it through the 5,000-mile voyage by eating fish, birds, and turtles and drinking rainwater, and his own urine.
4.
Matthew Allen. After Allen disappeared from his home near Sydney in December of 2012, search teams couldn't find any clues as to the whereabouts of the 18-year-old. 9 weeks later, he was found by hikers in the Australian outback. Because he did this during a record-breaking heat wave, he was found disoriented and unable to stand, and he had lost half of his body weight.
3.
Ben Carpenter. When crossing the street in Paw Paw, Ben Carpenter, 21 years old and wheelchair-bound, was picked up accidentally by a truck. He was pushed by the semi-truck for 4 miles at 50 miles per hour after the arms of his wheelchair got stuck in the grill of the truck. Apparently, the driver said that he had stopped at a red light and couldn't see Carpenter crossing in front of him. The light changed and Carpenter ended up having a ride that nearly ended his life.
2.
Shannon Malloy. Shannon Malloy was in a fatal car crash that was so severe it caused her to be internally decapitated. This means her spine had been separated from her skull, thus cutting all connecting ligaments and tendons loose. Miraculously, she managed to survive. Shannon had to go through many surgeries to fuse her skull to her spinal cord. Because of the accident, she suffered severe nerve damage, meaning her speech was limited and her eyes would occasionally cross over.
1.
Roy Sullivan. You know the saying of lightning never strikes the same place twice. Well, unlucky for Roy Sullivan, not only has he been struck by lightning once or even twice, he's been struck 7 times. His first brush with electricity from the sky came in 1942 when he was struck on the leg while atop a lookout tower. Strike number 2 came 27 years later in 1969 when a bolt struck the truck he was driving, knocking him unconscious. Over the following 8 years, he was struck another 5 times.
Don't forget to like us and subscribe for more Elite Facts.